Hello guys, welcome to this third tutorial on database management system. Today we are going to learn DML, DQL and DCL commands. So let me begin with the explanation of all of these commands. So I'll start with DML, that stands for data manipulation language. Now this DML command basically deals with the data which are already available in our database. Example of DML are insert, update and delete. Now insert is used to insert new data or new value into the table. Update is used to update those existing data which we have inserted within a table, and third one, that is delete, is to remove the data which we have inserted from the table. Now the second one is DQL, data query language, which deals with viewing of those data which we have inserted. It helps us to retrieve or view those data which we have inserted. And the third one is DCL, which stands for data control language. It deals with allowing permissions or rights to the user. Examples are grant and revoke. Grant means to give users the access or permission to view anything in his account, and revoke means to take back those permissions. Now let me give one example for this. So let's say we have user 1 and user 2. Now user 2 wants to view some data of user 1. So it's user 1 choice to grant him some permissions, or if he has granted, then he can take back those permissions using revoke command. Let's understand this examples or commands with the help of practical aspects. So I'll open my command line. I'll enter my password. Yeah, it is connected. Now the first thing I'll do is I'll check for my databases. So I have some database, so I'll use ICFI database. So database has been changed. Now I'll check if I have some table. Okay, I have one table. Okay, I'll change that. I'll check the description for this table so that I can know what are the fields or columns available. So I have ID and name inside this student table. So I'll start with the first DML example, that is to insert. So insert, this insert I'll show in 3 ways. So this is the first way, insert into student. Now I'll mention the column names. Those are ID and name. Now I'll give the values. So 1 and ABC. So it has been inserted. So this was the first way of inserting in value. Now this is the second way, in which we will remove the column names and we'll directly insert using values. So let's say PQR. So this is the second name. So it has been inserted, and the last way is to insert multiple value at once. So XYZ and MNO. So I'll change this to 3. So I have 4 values now. So yeah. Now before running the second and third example of DML, that is update and delete, let me run the DQL select query so that we can see if our data, whatever we have inserted, is available or not. So I'll use select asterisk from student to view all the data. So you can see all the data whatever we have inserted are there in the table. Now if I want to view one particular, then I can use that column name. So I want to view only name, so I'm using select name from student. So it will only give me name of the from the student table. So now let's go back to DML, second example, that is to update some value. So I'll use update query. So update table name, that is student. I'll set name equal to, so I'm updating ABC to something else. So let's say QWE, where ID, so from ID I am updating, so ID is 1, so it has been updated. Now let's check. So 1 is QWE in place of ABC. So this was an example of update query. Now the last one is delete. So we'll remove one of the values from our table. So table name is student, delete from student, where we'll use ID. So let me remove the fourth one. So I'll remove 4. So XYZ is removed. So let's check. So it is not there in our table. So I hope you guys understood this DML and DQL commands. So let's move on to the third one, that is DCL queries. Now the problem is that MySQL command line does not support this DCL queries. So we will run those queries, that is grant and revoke, in Oracle database. So I'll open my Oracle database. Now this is my Oracle command line interface. So here the first thing I'll do is I'll connect with the database, that is system. So you can say this system is the main admin of Oracle. So I am connected. Now we will run the first one, that is grant command. Now to run this grant command we have to follow some steps. So I'll be following that. The first step is to create 2 users. So we are creating 2 users inside this main admin, that is system. So inside system we are creating sub-admins. So 2 sub-admins we are going to create. So I'll run the query, that is create user. So let me give one name. So I'll use Anup as the first user. Now I'll give some password to Anup. So identified by Anup. So I have to check for the spellings. We have to be very careful with the spellings. So it's correct now. I'll give the third line, that is default table space system. Next line is temporary table space temp. Okay, it's correct. Now the last line is quota unlimited on system. Now let me explain this query. Now the first thing what we are doing is we are creating one user name as Anup. Now for this user, that is Anup, we are giving some password by using identified by Anup. So this is Anup is the username as well as password. Now the user which we are creating on is system. So we are using its own this system's table space. So if the system table space is not available, then we'll move to temporary table space, that is temp. But we have system working, so we'll use this only. And I'm giving quota, that means space, as unlimited. So whatever I can run on this particular user, whatever value I can create, whatever space, so space is unlimited for this system. So that's what I am trying to do. So you can see my user is created. So likewise I'll create the second user. So second user I'll create as Naveen. So I'll use same things. Now password for Navin will be NAVIN only. Okay. Default table space will be system itself. If default is not available, then Navin will be used. Temporary table space, and space will be unlimited. So both the users have been created. Now the first step is complete. Now we'll move to second step, that is to create one role, assistant. So the name of that role will be assistant. So let me create and then I'll explain. Create role assistant. So role has been created. Now why I have created this role is because I'll put some permissions inside this role. That is two permissions. One permission will be to create table and another permission create session. Create session means that these users, whatever we have created, will be allowed to log in into their database. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'll grant permission to this role whatever I have created. So grant create table, create session to assistant. So let me check for the spelling. So assistant. So I am granting these two things, that is create table and create session to this role which I have created, that is assistant. So grant is successful. Now this assistant I will give to both the users. So I'll grant assistant to the first user, that is Anup. So with this, Anup has the access to create table and create session, which is present inside assistant. So assistant I have given to Anup. Now Anup will be able to create table as well as create session. That means login into a system. Now I'll give the permission to Navin as well. So I have given permission to both the users. Now let me show you the create session thing. Okay, now see, Anup is login into his system. So ID is Anup, password is Anup. So he is connected. Now he is present inside his own database. So that's what the permission was all about. Now the second permission, or the first permission, that is to create table. Now what I'll do is inside Anup I'll create one table. So create table, let's say user 1, values, okay, create table user 1, ID as, let's say, number, and name as varchar. So I'll give the size as 15. So my table is created. Now what I'll do is I'll insert some value. So insert into user 1. Now values. So I'll give 1 and some name. So QWE. So it's created. Likewise I'll put another value XYZ. So it has been created. Now I'll run the select query to check. Select asterisk from user 1. Now Anup inside his database has created one table in which he has some values present. Now let's say that Navin has requested Anup to show his or allow to view his data. Now I am logging into the system of Navin. So I'll put the password. So it's connected. Now right now Anup has not given any permissions to Navin. So let's check if he is able to view Anup's data or not. So select asterisk from anup.user1. So Anup is the username and table name is user1. So it's showing an error, that is table or view does not exist because Anup has not given any permission. Now Anup will give some permission to Navin. Then let's see if Navin is able to view or not. So I'll connect back again to Anup. So I'll put the password. So I'm connected to Anup. Here he will allow the permission to Navin. So the permission which he is allowing right now is only select. So grant select on user1 to Navin. So grant has been succeeded. That means permission has been given. Now I'll log in to Navin's account. So it's connected. Now let's run that same query. So now you can see the permission. With the help of the permission, Navin is able to see Anup's data. So I hope you understood this grant command. Now let's do one more thing, that is let's give some more permissions to Navin. So I'll connect to Anup's account. So the permission which I want to give to Navin is not only select but to insert as well as update on Anup's table. So both the permission has been given. Now I'll connect to Navin's account. Now Navin can insert or update as well in the table of Anup. So let's insert some value. So I'll use the insert query. So insert into, now I'll mention the username also, values, that is 3 and CVB. Okay, so inserted. Now let's use the select query to check. So here you can see Navin is able to insert some value as well. Now let's update some value. Update Anup dot user1 set name equal to, let's say, ERT, where ID equal to 3. So the third one which I have inserted just now, I am updating that value. So you can see it has been updated. So the permissions which Anup gave to Navin, he is able to run all those things. So now let's say now Anup wants to take back those permissions. So for that I'll use revoke query. So I'm connecting back again to Anup. Now I'll take back those permissions. Revoke select insert update on user1 from Naveen. So from Naveen he is taking back all those permissions what he has given. So you can see revoke is succeeded. Now let's go back to Naveen's account and try to view Anoop's data. So here you can see the message is coming, the table of view does not exist. Why? Because Anoop has taken back those permissions. So let us try to do update. So the same error message. So this is the power of grant and revoke. So I hope you guys understood this grant and revoke command. So if you have any queries regarding any of these commands, DML, DQL or DCL, then you can simply put your queries on the comment box below or comment section below, or you can message me as well. So thank you for watching.